Hi guys, this is Fairway Tita and welcome to my podcast, Swinging Through the Fairways with Fairway Tita. Now, this is our episode 2. So if you can remember guys, dun sa ating episode 1, ang ating syempreng unang mga in-interview at question and answer natin ay ang ating team Fairway Tita. But for today's episode, it is a personal, very personal, bear it all na podcast. So maraming nagtatanong sa akin guys, how and why did I start to play golf? So actually na-mention ko na rin to sa mga interview sa akin at sa mga reels and vlogs na na-post ko, na I started to play golf because it was a therapy for me because I had some mental health issues to deal with. So I started, I'm almost 2 years na po na naglalaro ng golf. And it started way 2023 guys, nung pandemic. So nung pandemic guys, I really wanted to try to find an activity for me. So at that time guys, namatay yung brother ko, si Kuya Jojo. He died of colon cancer. And kami yung nag-alaga sa kanya, wala siyang pamilya. And that was a very dark moment and in my life. Nahirapan ako to cope with his death compared to sa pagkamatay ng daddy ko several years ago. Mas madali ko siyang na-handle. But this time, with the death of my brother, it was a very slow and painful death. And ang mahirap dito guys ay ang makita mong naghihirap ng unti-unti yung minamahal mo. So it was a very traumatic experience for me which I wasn't prepared for. So eventually guys, I had problems sleeping. I had problems with my thoughts. Nagkaroon ako ng brain fog. Marami akong bagay mga nakakalimutan. Marami rin akong bagay na I couldn't focus on. And ang worst guys is nagkaroon na ako ng mga violent rage. Meron akong anger issues. And sobrang naapektuhan ang mga mahal ko sa buhay, yung mga nakapaligid sa akin. And so, I was very self-aware guys na ibang-iba yung nangyayari sa akin noon. Sobra ang pinagbago ko and I couldn't understand kung ano yun. So I wanted to know what was happening. Nababaliw ba ako? Or meron talaga akong problema? So I had the courage to talk to my sisters and to my husband that I needed professional help. So I did. I went to a psychiatrist and para sa akin, hindi ako nahihiyang i-share at ikwento tong parte ng buhay ko dahil marami akong natutunan, malaki ang pinagbago ng pananaw ko sa buhay dahil sa nangyari sa akin. And alam ko na maraming mga tao dyan ngayon na nakadanas o dinadanas ang naramdaman ko. And gusto ko tong maging ma-share sa kanila para malaman nilang hindi sila nag-iisa at hindi katapusan ng mundo. Merong magagawa kung marunong ka lang natanggapin na meron problema. So I was very aware that there was a problem and I know that I needed help. So yun ang una kong ginawa. Humanap ako ng psychiatrist to help me. And luckily, I was diagnosed with a complicated grief. Ngayon, dun po sa hindi nakakaalam kung anong complicated grief, parang similar po siya sa post-traumatic stress disorder. So yung pagkamatay po ng kapatid ko, na nakita ko, ay hindi ko po siya na-process ng maigi. Hindi po ako handa na i-process yung mga na-experience ko at that time. So, nung namatay po siya, mas lumala po yung mga conditions at symptoms ko. So, yun po yung complicated grief. Hindi po siya ordinaryong grief na mawawala siya after a month. Ito po, mas patagal ng patagal yung panahon, mas lumala po yung mga conditions ko at nakapekto po talaga siya sa pamumuhay ko at saka sa I couldn't function properly compared to before. And so, nung nagpunta pa ako sa therapist, ang unang-una kong tanong I remember is, nababaliw ba ako? At sinabi sa akin ng psychiatrist na, the fact na pumunta ka sa akin at alam mo na may problema, it is one sign that you are not crazy. It is a mental health issue na kailangan ma-address by proper professional help. So, at that time po, ang therapy ko noon was to do several months of counseling. Tinuruan po ako kung paano ko i-manage yung mga triggers ko. Actually guys, and I just wanted to tell people, ang magkaroon ng mental health issue sa atin is may stigma. So, kaya gusto kong lumabas at magkwento i-share tong parte ng buhay ko. Kasi alam nyo guys, dapat hindi natin tingnan yung mga may mental health issues na may stigma. Hindi naman namin ginusto na meron kami nito. It's just that nangyari na nagkaroon kami. And we're trying our best to be able to manage. Ang mahirap matanggap guys actually sa akin nung start was, it's not something na I'll be cured. Hindi po siya ganon. It's something that's already there. It's something that I just need to manage. So, ngayon po okay ako, but baka magkaroon ng mga incidents na magre-relapse po ako. Ganon po siya. Hindi po siya agad na naaayos at hindi rin natin alam kung babalik tayo sa dati. So, dun po ako sobrang nalungkot na after na nangyari sa kapatid ko, nag-iba na po talaga ako. Hindi na ako pwedeng bumalik sa dati. Kailangan kong matanggap na simula nung namatay yung kapatid ko, nag-iba na ako at kailangan kong matanggap yung pagbabago. And yun ang pinakamahirap siguro sa akin at the time was to be able to accept that I am already different and I cannot go back to before. So it was a new start for me and learning to manage my triggers. So ano ba yung mga triggers ko guys? No? Actually until now guys, nahihirapan akong i-define or i-pinpoint minsan. Because sometimes, madali siya ma-point out. Kunwari, related to a family. Kapag may nagkakasakit sa pamilya ko at na-hospital, that's one trigger. Kasi similar siya dun sa incident na very traumatic for me, na na-hospital yung kapatid ko and he died of cancer. So, pwedeng may narinig ako na taong similar ang nangyari. It triggers me. So, I'm very self-aware na pag ganyan na I have to be able to talk to somebody and tell them that I'm having issues or napapansin ko na hindi ulit ako nakakatulog. So, para ma-manage yung aking mga symptoms. So, ganyan po yung buhay ko ngayon. And isang nakatulong po sa akin ng malaki ay ang pag-discover ko sa aking golf. Sa paglalaro ko ng golf. Isang importante kasi pong bagay, pag meron ka mental health issues like yung sa akin, ang dami mong parang naiisip, ang dami mong energy na hindi mo alam kung saan mo lalagay. So, para kang aligaga parate. So, kailangan, isang suggestion sa amin was to find an activity na maano mo yung energy mo, mafo-focus mo yung energy mo doon. Kaya ma-focus mo siya sa anger issues or sa anxiety and sa pagiging lonely, magfo-focus ka ngayon doon sa iyong activity. And ang surprisingly, ang aking kuhang activity ay ang golf. Kung kakilala po nyo ako guys, at makikita nyo naman po, diba? Ang aking katawan ay hindi athletic. Malayo sa magiging athletic. At una po sa lahat ay hindi ko rin po gusto ng mga mainit, pag mainit. Kasi po, nag-a-allergy ako even sa pawis ko. So, ako yung last sigurong person na masasabi nyong, golfer ka? So, but I tried to do it. At that point in my life, I wanted to try everything to be able to manage my triggers because it was affecting my life. No, I couldn't function properly. And so, at that time, ang swerte naman sa akin, may mga kasama akong mga kaibigan, sabay-sabay kami natuto at ng golf at masaya kami. So, importante guys din siguro na may makasama kayo sa pag-golf para mas masaya siya. And doon namin nakilala din si Coach Rick. And in fact nga, parating kinukwento ni Coach Rick ng una kong driving range with him. Gusto ko na mag-quit. Totoo po talaga yan. Pinigil-pigilan lang niya ako. And eventually, alam niyo, ang maganda kasi sa golf is that ang kalaban mo ay sarili mo. Compared to other sports na it's either a team sport or it's a sport na may kalaban ka. Dito po, ang kalaban mo, sarili mo, utak mo. So I think it's very challenging. That is why I think yung mga competitive na tao, they fall in love with golf because it's really very challenging to fight with yourself. 'Di ba? Ang matatalo ka sa larong to kung hindi mo makontrol ang emotions mo, if you don't have that right mind frame to play this game. And that's what I love about it. Lalo na nung start, guys. Ang personality trait ko kasi is very, very competitive. Very, very, ayoko na hindi ko magawa yung isang bagay. So, nung nahirapan akong matira yung mga bolang yan, na-challenge ako. So, kinarir ko talaga. As in, araw-araw ako nagpa-practice. I even remembered na kinonvert ko yung lanay namin dito sa bahay to a driving range. Practice ako ng practice every day. Tapos magsiswimming ako after. And then meron pa akong training kay coach. So it became like a lifestyle now for me. And ang nakakatuwa is kasama ko yung mga kaibigan ko. Learning, enjoying the fairways, making the same mistakes, and just laughing about it. And right now, nakakatuwa because I'm playing right now, guys. Don't judge me, guys. I play almost 6 days a week with my Sunday as a reserve day for my family. So, I'm so blessed, guys, kasi at this point in my life, I have a job that is very flexible, na I can work from wherever. Basta I have to just, do my part. And they're very understanding enough to give me this time for myself. And yun nga, I'm very happy because alam nyo guys, well, everybody knows that my real profession is I'm really a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I tell everybody I'm a lawyer by profession, but a golfer by passion. I find so much fulfillment with what I do now as a golf vlogger than when I was a lawyer. I don't know. Being able to help now. So, because I became a vlogger by accident. So, and I think it is a very, I think it was, divine intervention that I became a vlogger by accident. I think it was God's way of telling me na, you know what? This is a platform that you can use to be able to tell your story and to be able to make a little change in the world and finding purpose in your life. Because I've always wanted to share my story about my mental health issues, and I didn't know how would I be able to do that. And surprisingly, I became a vlogger by accident, guys. And salamat sa inyong lahat na parating nagsusuporta sa akin. And alam nyo, at the start guys, personal talaga lang tong video ko. Pinupost ko siya dati sa private account ko pa sa Instagram. I didn't have Facebook and TikTok then. I was just videoing my golf adventures para lang makita ko yung mga shots ko, tapos aaralin ko kung ano yung mga mali ko. That's basically it. And then, ang aking pamangkin, ang ating famous Salingkit, ang aking pamangkin na amateur golfer na napakagaling, binigyan niya ako ng idea na sabi niya, why don't you, create a new account, make it public, and you're like, you vlog about your golf adventures. And sila po nung daughter ko, ang nagsabi na ang nag-name ng aking Instagram. Sila yung nagsabing i-name natin siya as Fairway Tita. And that's how it started. And so I was just, posting my reels and my vlogs. Wala pa nga yan. If you look at it before, it's just my shots. Wala pa yung mga, hi, I'm Fairway Tita. Wala pa po yung mga ganon. So I was just posting it. And hindi namin naisip na, well, ako hindi ko naisip na may manonood, because who would want to watch me play golf, diba? So, and I'm a beginner golfer, so I wasn't, it was really far from my mind that there was even a person watching it. So we were very surprised nung one time, naglalaro kami. I think it was in Valley. Tatatandaan ko ba? Valley Golf North Course Hole 9. May dumaan na, we were there on the tee, may dumaan na golf cart, dalawa sila, isang lalaki at saka isang babaeng teenager. And her name is Julia. I super remember. And I will not forget her talaga. And then when she passed by, the only thing we catched was Tita. So, ang una naming reaction, dahil sobra kaming clueless na may nanonood sa aking Instagram, ang tanong ko sa aking mga kakaibigan ay, kaninong anak yun? Kasi tinatawag tayo, Tita. And then, so kami, we were like, sino kaya yun, diba? And then, sumigaw siya ulit, si Julia, at sinabi niyang, I'm a big fan, Fairway Tita. That's the first time na I knew that there were people watching me. And I was very, very happy. And kinilig ako guys at that moment na parang, oh my God, may nanonood sa akin. Sinabi ko na nga baga. So I was joking guys na, oh my God, pero I was still in disbelief na parang, hello, may nanonood sa akin, bakit? And I met her, and she's such a nice girl, and she said that she loves my content, she finds it funny, very relatable. And then I got a lot of messages from followers, from people who were following me now, who were saying nice words na, I'm very inspired by you, that I am now learning to play golf because of you. And I was so shocked talaga guys, na parang, how can I inspire people? And then that's when it hit me na, my social media platforms pala at this point, they're very powerful mediums of communication, of inspiring, or, telling people or influencing people. So I said na parang, I think this is God's way of telling me that I should continue to do this, because I am helping people, I am sending good vibes to people, and I am inspiring people in my own way. I don't need to be a celebrity. I don't even need to be in politics or in power. I just have to be me. And diba, it's a perfect gift that was given to me by God na that is why parang, my friends are like, why are you vlogging? Parang you're always vlogging and vlogging. And I couldn't explain to them how fulfilling it is for me to be able to, be myself, do the thing I love. I'm passionate about, and at the same time, being able to influence people in a good way, being able to help people who are in need. And I'm doing it in a way na I'm just being myself. And that is truly, at this point in my life, that is what I am looking for. To be able to live my life with a purpose. And I'm very blessed that I have been given this chance by God to be able to share good vibes and my life to other people, and all the blessings that I am able to give to other people who are in need. It's a blessing. It's a gift. It's gives me so much joy and peace that I am able to do that now in my own little way. That's why every day there's this parang drive to, I need to go to golf. I need to play golf and, vlog, because there will be like people who are waiting for this, and then it's funny, and I know that they will love it, and they will like be happy. O baka minsan tong araw nilang pangit-pangit, tas manonood lang sila, makakalimutan nila for that moment yung problema nila, or napapasaya ko sila, or natutulungan ko sila. So I think that is the greatest lesson, the greatest realization I have for this year. And guys, the year 2025 is a year of change. It is a year of transformation, and true enough, in my life it was really life-changing. And ang maganda, guys, and I'd like to end my podcast today by a simple, siguro, reminder to everybody who's feeling anxious, depressed, and who's down in life today, that I just wanted you all to know that I was also in that point in my life. I think it was, for me, the darkest and most painful time of my life. But then, at the end of the day, there's this something inside me that knew that I will be able to pull through, and that I will be able to survive. And that is faith. Faith in God, that everything will be okay. And I hope that to anybody who is going through a rough patch in their life, please do not lose hope, and please remember to just keep your faith. And God really works in mysterious ways, and it has been true for me. So I hope, guys, you liked this short podcast, my episode 2, learning about Fairway Tita. I'll see you guys at the fairway.